Welcome back, everyone, here to Bronx Talks. The trade deadline is heating up. The Yankees went out yesterday and made a move, a little bit later in the day, around this time yesterday, sort of. They made a move. They went out and got Jazz Chisholm from the Miami Marlins. They traded away their number 20 prospect in the system, Agustin Ramirez, who's really, really solid, is really having a good year. And then I think it was Abraham Ramirez, and then Jared Cerna. So for three prospects heading over to the Marlins, the Yankees bring in Jazz Chisholm. And I think Jazz Chisholm could do a lot of great things for the Yankees. He's a great athlete. He plays the game with a lot of swagger, a lot of energy, and he's really, really fast too. So he definitely fits, the typical leadoff man. I guess he could get on base a little bit more than you'd like, or a little bit more than you want for a leadoff guy. But he definitely has the tools. And I think the Yankees are going to primarily hit him leadoff. I think that's the best spot for him in this lineup because he has the tools and the makeup to do so.
Yeah. Exciting move. I'm happy they did it. Obviously, we were talking about this move. He was one of our trade deadline targets. Then we talked about it in our rumors video on Friday. I think a lot of people saw this coming, but kind of the question we had was, well, yeah, he's a cool player to get. We'll have a leadoff hitter, we'll have a fast lefty, but where's he going to play? And, that's something that I think we're all kind of wondering and figuring out right now. I mean, he is primarily a second baseman, but can also play the outfield if they wanted. I mean, I guess you could have him play center, but then Soto and Judge, they both can't play left. So it's kind of puzzling. I guess you could have Torres go to third, but that was already a disaster when he tried to play short. So I am wondering if maybe Verdugo or Torres could be on the way out.
Yeah,
where does he play?
I was thinking the same thing. I would think more Torres is on the way out than Verdugo. Torres, I don't think they move Torres to third base. I don't think that's possible. It just wouldn't make any sense. We've heard some things that the Yankees love Jazz's versatility, although Jazz has never played third base. So are the Yankees really just going to put him at third base? I don't think so. Maybe like in a pinch, but I don't think they roll with Jazz as their long-term third baseman. I think there's a very strong possibility that Gleyber Torres is on the way out. We've heard rumors about teams calling for Gleyber Torres. Jack Curry said yesterday that the Yankees are pushing hard to make more deals, to make another trade. I think the Yankees are definitely going to make another trade, no doubt about it. I think that could very well happen today, could happen right up to the trade deadline tomorrow. But who knows? I definitely do think that Torres could be on the way out. Verdugo is an interesting one, right? Because, he's in the outfield, but the Yankees need to get Jason Dominguez up here soon. He just came back off the injured list. He's DHing today for Scranton. He actually came back way sooner than expected from that oblique injury. It took him like 5 weeks. It was originally scheduled, 8. The whole reason the Yankees went out and got Verdugo was, they didn't know what Dominguez was going to be like coming off the UCL injury, but they definitely had plans to have Dominguez be the starter. And I don't know if they totally had Verdugo in their long-term plans. I mean, it would have been kind of complicated. The Yankees go out, let's say, re-sign Soto. They're not just going to keep Dominguez in the minor leagues. I think everyone knows at this point Dominguez is a major league hitter, and I think they need to get him up here, and I think they will. So if they go out and they trade Alex Verdugo, then you could have your outfield be Dominguez in left, Judge in center, Soto right, and then Grisham goes back to that, fourth outfield spot. I definitely think there could be a possibility that Verdugo is on the way out. Him and Torres in the final years of their contracts. And Christian, maybe the Yankees could get creative and, flip Verdugo or Torres for a bullpen arm. Maybe not bring in a prospect or something like that, but a switch. Maybe like a Verdugo or a Torres straight up for a relief pitcher. We definitely know that there is some teams looking for a second baseman. Mariners, I think the Pirates are looking for a second baseman as well. So there's some teams out there. I think there's markets for both. But I would say, if you ask me right now, I would say Torres is more likely to leave the Yankees than Verdugo, because I don't know how they're going to do it. With Torres and Jazz, I just don't see how. I don't see a scenario right now in which that could work, unless they are very confident in Jazz or Torres' ability at third base.
Yeah, I agree. I really wouldn't even mess with Torres on that side of the infield. Uh, I wouldn't trade him though. I don't. I already said this in the video. If they were, and we kind of ruled out when it makes sense, even though the Marlins had been interested in Torres before, getting him now for 1 year left, that they're done. It doesn't make any sense. But I was kind of saying, if we're gonna bring in Jazz and then just ship off Torres somewhere else, I wasn't really on board with that. I mean, I think really at the end of the year they're gonna have pretty similar stats, and I do think Torres is a better player. Like, I don't think you can group Torres into that category with, Verdugo and DJ and even like Volpe, who are all really struggling Yankees, because Torres is a better hitter than all of those guys. I mean, he's having a really bad season, and he's 10% below league average this year, and he's picking it up. So, I'm not really on board with just giving away Torres. We'll see what they do. I think the Yankees, and we'll get into this a little later, I think the bottom line is they need to get a third baseman, and then what they do can kind of revolve around that. But yeah, right now I think Jazz is either slotting in at left or at third. Cool story about Jazz. War number 2 with the Marlins, and Derek Jeter specifically traded for him. There was a story about Jazz and Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant was Jazz's idol. He was supposed to meet Kobe the day after Kobe died. So then Jazz called Jeter that night. He was super upset. He told Jeter, I need you to be my new idol. And now Derek Jeter and Jazz actually have a pretty close connection. So, I know, Yankee fans, we always love that stuff. But, hey, it's not a bad start for your Yankee career. You got to start getting on the good side of fans.
Yeah, I mean, the pinstripes are going to find you, especially when you have, a story like that. But, we know Jazz is a very talented player, but I'm really excited for, everything Jazz brings. I mean, he is so much fun to watch play baseball. I mean, he plays the game, like, I think very uniquely. Like, we all know, like, the bat flips and, everyone having fun playing baseball. But I think Jazz is, like, in his own unique way. Like, when you're watching him, he plays baseball as like entertainment. Like, he's must see TV. Reminds me of Robinson Cano. He's always looking flashy. He's bringing that energy. I mean, you watch him hit a home run, and it's like every base he does like a cool thing. First base, he does like a jump shot. I don't know what the second and third are, but then when he's rounding third, he does the Euro step at home, bringing that swagger, that excitement to the Bronx, because Yankee fans are so passionate. They're so into it. And, watching Jazz hit like a home run and do the Euro step in like a big game. Imagine he hits like a big home run in the playoffs and he's doing a Euro step at home. I mean, Yankee Stadium would go nuts. So I'm loving that, and I'm really excited to see that. And I think Jazz brings a lot of good things to the table with his athleticism, his versatility. It's something the Yankees have really needed. And I think Jazz is in like the 99 percentile in base running values, really good base runner. So I'm excited to see what Jazz can bring. It should be a lot of fun. And Christian, I've told you in year priors,
You have.
We talked about who's my favorite player not on the Yankees. And I would always say Jazz. And now Jazz is a member of the Yankees. And I'm really excited to watch him. I'm really excited to see what he can do. And I think he'll be a very solid addition to the Yankees. But with that being said, I think the Yankees definitely need to make a few more moves to really upgrade that roster as a whole, because I think there's a lot of work that still needs to be done with this roster.
Yeah. I am wondering now, do you think that report was false, that they were worried about Jazz coming over and causing controversy or something like that?
I mean, I don't know. I'm not, I'm not in the room. I don't totally know, what they're thinking. I was watching NYY Underground the other day or yesterday, and they were saying they heard rumors or something like Jazz that apparently people were saying Jazz wasn't a team guy or something like that. Look, I have no idea what the Yankees were thinking there. I don't know what was said, what wasn't said. I don't know totally what went on there in Miami, but look, Miami was a dumpster fire. I mean, their farm system is really bad. Their major league team is really, really bad. And who knows what happened. But I think Jazz is going to a much better environment with some nice veterans, Judge, Soto, Stanton to lead the way for them.
Yeah. I'm just I just, I just found an article that says Jazz Chisholm didn't speak to his teammates for the first 3 years of his career, saying, "I don't like y'all like that." Hopefully,
Eh,
different story with the Yankees. I
I,
know.
I, I don't know.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
New environment.
New
Reuniting with
environment.
James Rowson, bench coach for the Marlins from 2020 to 2022.
That's
That's something.
That's really good. And Stroman came out and said, I didn't know if there's a video of it, but I saw him say it yesterday, or a tweet of it. Oh, sorry. But apparently him and Jazz Chisholm are friends and they know each other really, really well. So he said that, we're really excited to have Jazz. So look, hopefully he fits in that clubhouse, right away. I think, another thing, when you're worried about someone's personality or something like that, we've seen the Yankees do a good job, bringing some of those guys in, especially if Aaron Judge is the captain, to really help those guys, when it comes to a personality impact and, making sure everyone's getting along on the team, because team chemistry is definitely a big thing. I mean, if you don't have your mentals right as a team, you're not going to get far, no matter how much talent you have. So that's really, really important. I thought it was interesting though. Like, I was pretty surprised when I heard about that. But hopefully there's no problem there, and he gets along, and Jazz just plays great for us.
Yeah. I guess let's move in. The trade happened. There's more to go. The Yankees and Rays seem like they are talking a lot. The three big names I think are Isak Paredes, Yandy Diaz, and Pete Fairbanks. Isak Paredes probably being the main one, who's just been a stud. And what we have at third base, if you bring him in, probably the biggest upgrade they could possibly do.
Yeah, I know he struggled pretty badly, Paredes, I think since coming out of the All-Star break or the last month or so. I think he's batting like under 200. Hasn't been solid, but you look at the overall numbers, he's a very solid player, made the All-Star team. That would be huge for the Yankees to go out and make a deal like that. I know the Rays have been interested in both Yankees shortstops, uh, George Lombard Jr. and Roderick Arias. So I think a deal could headline one of those two guys. But Paredes would be a really solid fit for this team. Yandy Diaz would also be a great fit for this team. They bring in Yandy Diaz. I don't know who bats leadoff, because Yandy is also a typical leadoff guy. So, who knows? Maybe Jazz can move down the order, or Yandy could move down, but who knows there. But Yandy would be a really, really good fit for the Yankees. When we did the trade rumors video, I think he was batting at the time like 340 against left-handed pitchers. Excuse me. Has very, very good numbers against lefties. I think Isaac Paredes or Yandy Diaz would be great fits for the Yankees, and adding a bat like that in the lineup would be huge. And You look at the trade market, Christian. I think these are two of the best, if not the best, bats on the market right now. I could also see a deal in which the Yankees acquire both of them. The Rays do not care about trading in the division. The Rays do things very unique. They just want as much value as they can. They don't care about trading in division. It's not something they care at all. I mean, they just traded Zach Eflin to the Orioles, so they just want value. I could totally see the Yankees going out and getting both of them. We've heard a lot of rumors with the Yankees and the Rays. The Yankees have had scouts at the Rays games, and Fairbanks would be a very solid addition and could help the Yankees close their problem. Clay Holmes was very solid last night, but we know he has struggled. So definitely add depth and a big impact arm to that bullpen. Also, Fairbanks' personality with the New York media would be something really, really funny. All
Yeah.
his post-game press
Did
conference.
you see him? I think it was last series, just him staring down the reporter. The reporter asked him.
Yeah,
It was if there was a thought about intentionally walking Judge to bring up like the
Go-ahead,
tying
yeah.
run or go ahead run, something like that, and he just stares the reporter down for 10 seconds.
Yeah, and then there was
He's
yeah.
confident. I really like, and kind of funny.
Yeah.
I do wonder if the Yankees would be stubborn enough to keep Clay Holmes as the closer, even if they got Fairbanks. I would hope not. I mean, we've talked about this. I don't think Clay Holmes is that ninth inning guy. But,
Yeah.
I mean, back to Diaz and Paredes, if the Yankees were to go out and get one of them, and it's kind of unique, but the Yankees are almost in a way, they could be shifting the next, little core. I mean, Jazz is probably now our second baseman after this year for the next
Yeah.
2 years.
Definitely, yeah.
Paredes, I think 4 years, not till 2028. Yandy Diaz, club option in 2026, free agent in 2027. Like, these guys are going to be Yankees for a while. And also something that should not be overlooked, Jazz, relatively cheap. Isaac Paredes, relatively cheap. And same thing with Diaz. I mean, he's making just over $10 million. If they want to re-sign Soto, they're kind of going to need to build a team for the next few years with guys like that. Not everyone can be, making $20 million, getting hurt, playing half the season. They're going to need players like this. So that's why I almost think so you got Jazz, who can now be our second baseman, get one of these two guys. I feel like you're setting yourself up pretty well, because then you don't really need to spend that much more money this offseason. I mean, you'll ideally have Dominguez coming over in the outfield to take over. You can say bye to Verdugo. You should have a relatively set roster where you can say, all right, we're going to focus a majority of our money on bringing Juan Soto back here.
Yeah, no, I mean, it would certainly be big. They're going to have to be creative. And, Hal Steinbrenner said it a little bit earlier on in the season that, look, he said the payroll right now is just not realistic for us going forward. We're going to cut payroll in 2025. And I think everyone, knows that Torres is going to be gone. And originally we were saying it's going to be an eternal option. It's going to be a guy like Yorbit Vivas or Caleb Durbin, potentially an Oswald Peraza. But no, it's most likely going to be Jazz Chisholm next year. And also, the Yankees go out and let's say they bring in a Yandy or Isaac Paredes. I mean, you look at the lineup, they have a lot of names in that lineup. I mean, Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, Jazz Chisholm, Giancarlo Stanton. You throw in a guy like Yandy Diaz or Isaac Paredes. A lot of proven hitters. Not just some guys like, that we never heard of or something like that. No, I mean, these guys are definitely proven hitters. But Christian, we've seen the rumors with Yandy Diaz, Isaac Paredes, and Pete Fairbanks. I think another guy the Yankees could look at is Ahmed Rosario. I could see him making a lot of sense for the Yankees. The Yankees were interested in him during this offseason. And this year, I think he's batting over 300. He's very versatile, can play the outfield, third base, shortstop, I think second base as well. He's very versatile. I think he's only making $3 million. So by the time you trade for him this year, it's like a 1.5, and he would be a rental pretty much. I mean, I guess you go out and re-sign him, but he's on a 1-year deal. He's very, very cheap. I could definitely see the Yankees bringing in a guy like Ahmed Rosario because of his contact skills, and I think he could be a nice tone setter for the Yankees in that lineup. They need a guy. They need some guys who get on base, and I think Ahmed Rosario could be a good fit for the Yankees. I mean, look, I don't think he does very well in the power department. I don't know, the underlying stats or how the analytics view him, but I think you get someone who could play multiple positions, could play third base. I think he makes a lot of sense for the Yankees. I'd still prefer trying to get Yandy Diaz or Isaac Paredes, but I definitely could see the Yankees going out and getting a guy like Ahmed Rosario.
Yeah, 14 games at third base this year. Yeah, I mean, I'd say he'd probably be at the bottom of the barrel for me. I mean, he is career-wise hitting. He's been very, very up and down. Um, this year, 760 OPS. Last year, 680. Year before that, 715, 730, 640. It's been right around, if not below league average. I really think you have to get one of those, Yandy or Isak. I think this would kind of be a move where we'd get him. I'd have a feeling he would probably play to, a little bit below his baseball card, and then we're all sitting here thinking, oh, we should have gotten a third baseman.
Mm.
I just wouldn't trust this fully. And also, I mean, yes, the underlying stats are really not what you want. I was kind of surprised. I just pulled up Isaac Paredes, Baseball Savant. Not at all the hitter I thought he was. He does have 16 home runs this year, but all the StatCast metrics are actually pretty low. Like barrel percentage, average exit velocity, and then he's just 90 percentile in whiff, K percentage, and walk percentage. Not really. I thought he was kind of more of a, the classic new age, just hitting balls hard, classic Rays player, but not really. I think Yandy Diaz, on the other hand, is more of a just power
Yeah,
guy and also very patient.
yeah.
But this is a little weird. I'm just looking at this Baseball Savant page. It's not that good. I don't know.
He also, I think one of the concerns I would have is I think he has around 60 plus, maybe 70 career homers, and he's never hit one to right field. Yankee Stadium is deep in left field. I mean, you could get it done, but I mean, if he's hitting balls to the left center field gap, it's not like he has much speed. Those aren't going to be home runs. They're probably just going to be doubles. You know what I mean? In Yankee Stadium. So that is another concern I have. I think Yandy Diaz makes just a ton of sense for the Yankees. He homered yesterday. He could go to the opposite field. He has a ton of career experience at the lead in the leadoff spot. Um, Look, I think, first base, he's primarily a first baseman. He has played some third base in his career. I think the Yankees could, work something out. And, I think he could play some third base. I mean, if he's playing, slightly below average, third base, I think you'd take that. Or, yeah, I think you would take that. And then first base, it'd be a little bit tricky with Rizzo there and obviously Rice. But if he's doing it with the bat, you would certainly take that. But I think Yandy Diaz makes a lot of sense for the Yankees. We heard today that the Yankees are in a bidding war between the Dodgers, for Isaiah Paredes. We'll see if that deal ends up happening. We heard a rumor yesterday that the Yankees were in serious talks with the Rays for Pete Fairbanks. That was tweeted from Randy Miller. So I was like, oh, okay. Who would say no to a Fairbanks trade?
Yeah.
But then Brian Hoke tweeted and said that there's nothing close or anything like that. Which is, who knows who's right, but I'm going to trust Brian Hoke over Randy Miller any day.
Yeah. So you mentioned the spray charts, and then I just pulled it up. This is like amazing. He is not in his career. I'm looking at a spray chart. He has not had a home run to right to center. The furthest, or I guess the most opposite field he's had is like left center. It is just straight pull. Which I guess I'm kind of confused at, because if he just has zero power, why don't pitchers just pound him away then? I'm trying to find his the the zone where it shows, because I mean it seems like he just has no power. I mean, this year he has one double or one extra base hit on the to center or to right.
Wow.
Last year 3.
Yeah, no, he doesn't hit the ball to right field, and Yandy can. So, I mean, I don't know. I think I'd prefer Yandy, but Isaac Paredes, I mean, he's a good hitter. I mean, we're telling you the numbers. There's definitely, some concerns, but, the guy made the All-Star team. We're not saying he's some scrub or bad hitter.
Yeah.
Would we think he's maybe the most perfect fit for the Yankees? No, but I mean, when you look at what they have, especially at the third base position, you would take just about anyone. I think it's been good that Oswaldo has been hitting better for the Yankees, but I don't think the Yankees can start him or have him be the everyday player just yet. I think they need significant upgrades to that lineup. We've heard rumors that the Yankees aren't done. They're still looking to add. There's still going to be, I think, at least a couple more trades that do happen for this team. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of personnel and what kind of players they do bring in. But I think everyone in a collective agreement saying it's a third base and the bullpen. Starting pitcher maybe be nice too, but I think the Yankees need at least one more bat and a couple relievers for that bullpen. And you do that, you bring in, let's say you bring in 4 or 5 players this deadline. It's a very, very solid deadline. You bring in a good haul. I think this changes the team up a bit.
Yeah. I'm going to pull up both of them here. Let me know which one's your favorite. So we have Isak here. Also, look at the spray chart. I mean, that is kind of wild. And then we move over here to Yandy. I mean, that's like an almost like Aaron Judge type. So, I mean, we'll see what we get. To be honest, I wouldn't complain with either. I just want someone who can play quality third base. But I think Yandy is going to be the best option, especially if Isak's price starts getting driven up. If the Dodgers are now, throwing in a bunch of prospects, just tell the Dodgers, take them. We'll be happy with Yandy, and everyone walks away happy. But yeah, and then as for Fairbanks, they need a reliever. He's probably one of the better options out there. Is Mason Miller? Is he now done? He's staying.
I mean, I would think so. I don't even know if he was healthy, if he get traded anyway. I mean, he has so much control. I mean, his arm is I mean, it's a gem. I mean, he's under control, I think, till 2029. I know the Yankees were interested. I heard Baltimore was interested as well. Broke his pinky. Someone reminded him that he had to do a post-game lift or talk. Was it a lift? Am I going crazy?
I did not hear that. I just saw he just broke it. He punched something with his left hand angrily. And
yeah, I mean, you're always, when you hear those stories, you're always like, oh my God, that is so embarrassing. But I was thinking about this the other day. Yeah, but I was
good on him for using the left arm.
Yeah, but I was thinking about this the other day. I'm like, is this even embarrassing anymore? I mean, this happens like every year. Someone punches something, they break their hand. It's crazy. we say it's so embarrassing, but yet we see it every single year.
Started with Ken Giles, right?
Oh my God! I mean
himself.
No, that's a little bit worse. I mean, that's when we're getting to that's a little. I don't know. It's a little interesting there. Christian, we have heard some rumors too about some starting pitcher. I guess not the Yankees' biggest upgrade, but you look at our starting rotation right now. Are you really that confident? Maybe it is something we need to upgrade. Nestor Cortez, been absolutely abysmal, just absolutely horrific. I think the thing we saw on Friday night, he had 9 hits, gave up 4 runs in 4 2/3, and he's rolling his eyes when Boone's coming to pull him out. That can't happen. And that's another story. Boone's been getting a ton of criticism, rightfully so. That's a whole other story, I guess, a whole other video there. But Stroman hasn't looked good lately. He got clubbed the other night. Garrett Cole has had a couple good starts, but he also just got shelled by the Mets. We have heard the Yankees in some rumors with potentially Blake Snell, who's been horrible this year. I don't even know if he has a win yet. Just been really, really bad. But look,
thank God we did not. Thank God. I mean,
yeah.
I could only if we had him, and Rodon looks like he's figured it out. But imagine if we, during that stretch, and now we had 2 of our overpaid lefties just getting shelled every start. Oh my gosh, it would drive people nuts.
Yeah, no, it certainly would. We've heard him in rumors with the Cubs for Jamison Tyone. I still don't understand how that would work. I think he's just getting paid way too much money. I don't see the Yankees wanting to bring in that salary. And then I think we've also heard Jack Flaherty. So look, I think coming into the trade deadline, no one was really thinking starting pitching because you have Clark Schmidt coming back at some point in August. And I think when the initial trade conversation started, you're like, Garrett Cole's coming back soon. The rotation have been pitching great, but who do you trust? I think at this point in time right now, who do you trust out there to probably give you a good start other than Luis Gil? And Luis Gil had a really bad rough patch, but he's since figured it out. But I don't know if I trust anyone that's starting on that mound right now. Carlos Rodon came out last start, pitched great. He'd been getting clubbed before that. Stroman and Nestor, same thing. So, I don't know. I think maybe if you could find the right price, you could find the right deal and get a starting pitcher who's been pitching well, it'd be big. And another name that I just remembered yesterday was the Yankees are interested in veteran pitcher Luis Garcia from the Angels. So I've heard the Yankees connected to a lot of rumors. I mean, usually you see that because they're the Yankees. They're always going to do their due diligence. But I'm definitely confident the Yankees are going to make a magnitude of moves. A lot. I think not only they're going to upgrade third base, the bullpen as well. I could see, a crazy trade happening, a surprising trade happening, because I think the Yankees are looking at it we're guaranteed to have Juan Soto this year. They went out the offseason, they traded for Juan Soto. You don't trade for Juan Soto unless you think you have a very good chance to win the World Series. You are going for it if you're bringing in Juan Soto. They give a lot to get him. And, they're like, look, we need to back this up. We can't keep playing like this. So, I think they're going to go out there and make big moves. And then I think it was a good thing what Cashman did. I think getting a deal done after Friday's loss, the Yankees had lost 3 in a row at that point. I mean, they were just looking terrible.
Yeah.
And I think to go out there and do that before Saturday's night game was big. I think that was definitely a big help, a big confidence booster for the team. Get the first trade out of the way. I think there's going to be many more trades that are made. Last night's game was, you take everything and how bad the Yankees have played. You take that out. Last night's game was just a hard-fought team win. I think it was the win of the season, biggest win of the year. It was definitely a classic Yankees Red Sox battle. There was 5 lead changes. I don't know, but it was definitely a fun game, and I'm curious to see if Jazz Chisholm is going to start, makes his debut tonight with the Yankees.
It's confirmed he's there.
I don't know if it's confirmed. I'm saying I don't know. I'm interested. interested to see. Boone said it to be determined, but he was in Milwaukee with the Brewers, but I don't know. I mean, he'll definitely be there tomorrow. I think against Philadelphia, and Stanton could get activated too. But maybe he gets thrown right into it.
The lineup could take a ginormous upgrade. I mean, well, I guess if they were to trade for one of the Rays guys, they probably wouldn't be there tomorrow. But I mean, if you look from when we came back, or even right before the trade deadline, all right, no, I guess we'll talk about the Mets series where we have Jahmai Jones at leadoff and JD Davis batting 4.
Watch out, JD Davis.
Now 1 week later, it's going to be Jazz, Soto, Judge, Stanton, Paredes, Diaz, and then the rest of the guys.
It's fun to think about.
I have a kind of a wild question that I think is probably an obvious no, but Volpe's definitely starting for the rest of the year. No scenario where he doesn't, right?
Yeah.
I think, and I said this at the beginning of the year. I think I thought he was going to take a step up from the year before. And that's why when he got off to that crazy start, I think everyone kind of got ahead of themselves when we thought, oh, all right, here's our Derek Jeter shortstop. He's finally here. I think we're going to look back at the season and it's going to be better. And I don't think it's going to just be, a magical switch. I think it's going to be a slow process of adjusting to the league, then the league adjusts to you.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, we've seen it. He made the adjustment in the offseason, got hot. He even did it last year, the whole chicken parm thing. I think this guy's going to figure it out. And I will say, I know he didn't get the chance last year. I think we're going to see a really cool postseason moment from Volpe.
From Volpe?
Yeah.
From Christian's locking that in.
Really cool moment.
Wow, that'd be fun. That'd be fun. You know who is just made for a big postseason moment? Trent Grisham.
Yes.
Yeah. Trent Grisham comes up there. Dude is just the coolest dude. It's a day game. He's wearing just not athletic sunglasses, just the normal shades. He goes out there. There's a very calmness with Trent Grisham. And his numbers are not great. They're not even really that good, to be honest. But he's good. He's calm. I trust him in a big spot yesterday. I was watching the game. I did my reaction. I was like, Trent's going to come through here. And we saw him in the playoffs. He had the 2 home runs, I think, in the wild card series against the Mets. I could totally see Trent Grisham going out there and having a big postseason moment. But, I think we look at this Yankees team right now, Christian. There's going to be people coming and going very quickly here. The whole infield could look totally different.
Wow. Sorry to cut you off. Paredes. Guess
to the Yankees? Not the Yanks. Dodgers.
I thought the Cubs were selling.
Oh, the Cubs.
I thought they were selling. Were they not?
No, I don't know.
No, and this is the second this is the second move they've made.
Yeah, no, the NL wildcard tirade.
Yeah, but I swear that I thought a week before the deadline, it was either the owner or the general manager came out and said, we're focusing on the next few years.
I don't know. Wow.
Okay, so no Paredes.
Paredes, we could rule him out. Scratch him off.
It's Yandy Diaz time.
Christian, I'm getting 3 guys. I'm going with. I'm calling the Rays right now. I'm saying this is what we're doing. I want Yandy, Fairbanks, and Rosario. Let's get it done. That's what I'm doing right now. That's what I'm doing right now as the GM. The Yankees giving up a Lombard or an Arias would hurt to Tampa Bay. That would hurt. But I think you definitely got to go for it. You can't prospect hug like you used to. And, some people were, complaining about giving up Augustin Ramirez. I totally understand it. 20th prospects. He's having a great year. He's crushing AA. Struggled a bit in AAA. He definitely could be a solid catcher, but I just don't know if there was ever room for him on the Yankees. I think Austin Wells is going to be the guy for the future, and I don't know. They decided, look, better just, trade him, and they got some value. Jazz Chisholm with control over years, solid player. So, you can't prospect hug. That would hurt giving up a Lombard or an Arias to the Rays, but if you get the right players back in return, I think it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, okay. So I was wrong about the Cubs. They are still selling because they got Nate Pearson from the Blue Jays, who's young. They're going to have for a while. And Isaac Paredes, I mean, kind of what we were talking about the Yankees. This guy I think he's free agent 2028. So 4 years of control. So yeah, that makes sense. I'm like amped up because a move happened, but it's not the team. But also at the same time, I didn't really want him. As after we looked at the stats, I don't.
Yeah, you weren't feeling it. Yeah, I don't know. That'd be cool if it happened while we were live. But I think the Yankees could definitely make a trade today, tomorrow. I could see something happening right before the deadline. Big game tonight, though. I mean, I think everyone's focused on just winning this series tonight. The Yankees desperately need to take another series here. I think it'd be really good momentum playing a really good Phillies team, although they've been struggling. But, heading in there to Philadelphia with good spirits would be big for this team. And Jazz Chisholm potentially playing tonight for the Yankees would also be really, really cool to see. But yeah, Paredes is off the board. He's going to the Chicago Cubs. So good move for them, I guess. They got a bat, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I will say, I think tonight's going to be a really fun game.
Really fun.
Like I think it's going to kind of be like one of those Yankee Red Sox games. I mean, it's not. Obviously it's not the rivalry that it used to be, but I don't know. Yankee fans are feeling probably pretty good right now, assuming something happens. Red Sox what are the Red Sox doing this trade deadline?
They just got Danny Jansen yesterday. I think the Red Sox, they're going to look at pitching. I think they're going to look at, another bat as well. I think Jansen was a good, solid pickup for them. I think they were looking at a couple of the same Yankees players. India, another name. We've heard his name in a lot of rumors as well. But definitely some targets falling off the board here for the Yanks. Estevez going to the Phils. And we saw just now Paredes going. And yeah, another name, Rengifo. I think would be a very solid fit for the Yankees. I think right now, Christian, though, what would be your number one guy you're going after?
I'll let you go first. I just need to double check Jonathan India's stats and Luis Rengifo.
Okay.
I'll let you go first.
See, now Yandy
Well, okay, here. Give me.
Okay.
I need a closer.
Yeah.
I need another relief pitcher.
Yeah.
And I need a third baseman.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think you need a third baseman, and you need a couple relief pitchers, one of them a closer.
Give me your three guys. Top three.
Three guys. I'd say number one, Yandy Diaz. I know he doesn't typically play a lot of third base at all, but he's played the position. It's not like he's never played it before. He can play first base as well. Ben Rice has really been struggling. So you can mix and match there. It could, for now, be a way that, Oswaldo, who's been swinging a good bat, could get in the lineup some days. Yandy at first with Cabrera at third. So I'd probably have Yandy at one. And if he plays, as long as his defense isn't atrocious at third base, makes the routine plays, if he's doing it with the bat, I think anyone would take that. And then up next, I'd probably have Luis Rengifo. I mean, he's just had a really, really good year. He'd be a really good fit for the Yankees. Have to shave the beard. And then, after that, probably, probably a guy like Fairbanks or a closer in that bullpen. Fairbanks, Tanner Scott. I was actually surprised there was not a reliever attached to the Chisholm deal.
Yeah.
But maybe the Yankees should make a separate deal for Tanner Scott. I think he'd be a good fit. But look, I mean, the Orioles, they went out there and made moves. The Yankees went out there and made moves. Red Sox went out there and made moves. You don't want to get beat by, the teams you're playing with, competing with very closely here down the stretch. So I think the Yankees need to make significant moves. And getting Jazz Chisholm, getting that deal done, I think was a really big step in the right direction in doing so. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun to see Jazz play baseball. He's probably going to make his Yankee Stadium debut this Friday against the Jays. So maybe you and me go to the game, Christian.
Yeah,
and bring
that would
a
be
sign.
a fun game to go to. What's the sign? Like a last year sign or?
Yeah, like a sign that says "We love you, Jazz," or "You like Jazz."
So not what we did last year.
Oh yeah, I guess not.
Okay. Yeah, I would do that.
Last year we had Bowers and McKinney.
And Cashman.
And Cashman. But yeah.
Okay, I have my guy.
Okay. Huh.
I thought it was going to be Luis Rengifo.
Thought it was.
Like, really thought it was. Then I did a hard no, a hard pass. Then I looked a little bit into Jonathan India. I started to fall in love with it. He's my guy. I think.
India.
I mean, he's probably right around there with Diaz hitting wise, and probably, I mean, I assume is going to be much better defensively. I mean, I guess he's going to cost more just because he's younger. I think it's the same years for Diaz. So India is a free agent in 2027. I think Diaz is either a free agent then or as a club option. And India is just a little more cheaper. So you're definitely going to have to pay more for him. I would also say Jonathan India is kind of like a bigger name, or not necessarily a bigger name, but like in terms of the Reds fan base, like he's kind of their guy. I don't think they're just going to give him away that easily. So, just like every trade, find the right price. But I think if they can do it, that's their best option. Him or Yandy Diaz, though, and I think we're all pretty happy. We just need someone. I'm telling you, Ryan, if we walk out of this trade deadline and, they're trying to bullshit and say, we're going to have Oswaldo and DJ.
Oh, no, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
And we're going to mix in Jazz there. And we should have Birdie coming back. Like, just don't do that. I mean, come on.
I don't even know
an actual player.
I don't know where some of these guys are going to fit because 99.9% chance the player they bring in is an infielder. So where's that putting Birdie, Cabrera, and LeMahieu? J.D. Davis is gone. I think that's the most likely move.
Oh, my God.
That's the move. Well, I mean, someone said it on Twitter yesterday that the Yankees activate Jazz Chisholm and DFA J.D. Davis tweet is going to hit like crack. And I totally agree because what does J.D. Davis do? I mean, he doesn't do anything. He platoons against left-handed pitchers, and he sucks. He sucks. I think he's like 2 hits with the Yankees. He's batting like 100. But
it's really bad.
I think he's the first to go. But I mean, Jahmai Jones too.
But also Jahmai Jones. I mean, I could be mistaken, but I think his stats are better than most people on the like. I think he's a. Hold on, before I keep talking. Okay. All right. He has a 685 OPS. and he's never been a proven major league hitter. But like,
Yeah.
yeah, he's probably gonna go. But at the same time, that's better than DJ, Volpe, Torres, uh, John Birdie. Maybe I'm not sure. So it's just as Oswaldo. So yeah, Jahmai Jones is probably going to be the guy to go, but it's like so many of these guys feel expendable that it's kind of just the question: who are you going to do? DJ, they're not going to let go of. I mean, they should. I don't think he has anything left in the tank.
No,
But
he's really
what is it,
lost
like $15 million for the next 3 years?
Yeah, I think like 20. Yeah,
It could be
20.
more. I think it could be like 20. It's a lot. I don't think they're just going to throw it away, even though there is just
He
nothing
can't.
left.
No,
think,
I think he could be a good defensive replacement, but I mean, Christian, I mean, it's getting to the point where like they can't even give this guy at bats. They put him in for defensive replacement on Friday night. He ended up getting an at bat at the end of the game. I think there was like 2 on, 1 out, something like that. And I mean that at bat was so costly. Like
double play.
No, he struck out, but I mean, he couldn't. He cannot do anything, and I mean, he still makes a lot of good plays in the field. But I think Oswaldo can just make the same plays he can at third base.
I think he's a complete waste of a roster spot.
I'd agree. I would agree.
Like if you go into the postseason, with him on your roster, I think it's kind of dead weight. That sucks. Yeah. I mean, we like DJ, but
and he's not like he's a good defensive player, but I mean, your defensive replacement. I mean, they're not going to be like a good hitter.
Look at Josh Donaldson. Josh Donaldson was a great third baseman.
Yeah,
but we're not paying you $20 million to just play third base.
No, we're not.
All right. Say we get. So we have Jazz, JD Davis, we assume's gone. Then whoever we get, we bring in a third baseman. Is it just bye to Jahmai Jones?
I mean, I would think so.
I guess
you're going to want a pitch runner on the bench for the playoffs. But I mean,
could do that.
Yeah, I mean, you could find someone. Also, Trent Grisham.
Just lost Ryan there for a second, but. There you are.
All I was saying was, you could find a pitch runner if Trent Grisham goes back for that outfielder spot when Dominguez comes back. You could figure it out. You got one there. But dude, I think Gleyber Torres. If I had to say right now, if I was a betting man, I think he's out. I think the Yankees get rid of him. I just don't. I don't know how it would work. Like even if they get a third base, especially if they get a third baseman, there's just no chance. No chance. There's no way he's playing third base.
All right. So you have Volpe locked in at shortstop. We don't even have to touch on that. So then you have So you have John Birdie, who you could kind of. It should be John Birdie and not DJ, because I think John Birdie gives you so much more than DJ. So, if that was possible, then I think John Birdie is a great backup as your infielder. But then you have Torres at second, and is Jazz just rotating around?
Yeah, but is that really
Yeah, but think about it's not the worst thing to have. Think about how many guys are struggling right now. Imagine we had a guy like Jazz, who's a solid hitter. And we could just pop him anywhere. Torres is doing bad. All right, you could play second. Verdugo's playing like dog shit. All right, he can just play left. I think, I don't think it's the worst thing to have an extra guy. And I'm not saying that Jazz is going to be the extra guy. Torres could be the extra guy. Mm-hmm. Verdugo could be the extra guy. Whoever that is. Or it's just a rotation. But especially since... after the trade deadline, you can't do anything else. You can't improve anymore. So I don't think it's the worst thing if you just have maybe one guy that should be starting on your bench. Good problem, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, definitely could be something. But I don't know. I still think Glaber. I still think there's a very strong possibility he gets traded. I think Verdugo, there's a possibility he could get dealt to. But look, the trade deadline is 6 p.m. on Tuesday. I think, we did it. We're talking a week from now. This Yankees team could look totally different. Totally different. A lot of new, fresh faces in that lineup. Hopefully the Yankees could take advantage of some things. Baltimore's looked absolutely atrocious. I mean, just horrible.
Yeah.
Almost worse than the Yankees. So, they keep struggling. The Yankees' schedule gets a lot easier. Yankees, new reinforcements could, come away doing some big damage against some bad teams and, find themselves top of the division and, end of July. End of August. So, it's going to be really interesting to see. I'm definitely excited. I think this is one of the best, if not the best times during the baseball season. Trade deadline's a lot of fun. Look, you're not going to see like superstars, getting traded like when we saw Juan Soto go to the Padres a couple years ago. You're not going to see that this year, but there's definitely a lot of players out there that could help the Yankees and do some really good things. And big game tonight, Sunday Night Baseball against the Red Sox, and we might see Jazz in there.
I really hope so.
If he's not starting, I don't know. I'm sure he'll be with the team at least.
Or if he gets in late, doesn't have time to stretch and all that. But
yeah,
I'm excited. So me and Ryan were planning on going live for pretty much the whole day on Tuesday. Pretty much leading up until the trade deadline. Basically, there's going to be a ton of moves happening. We'll be looking at all of them. Hopefully, the Yankees are doing stuff that day. Maybe we'll be live tomorrow too. But stay in touch. Don't put your phone down too far. Moves are going to be happening very quickly, and enjoy the game tonight.
Yeah, that's really all there is to it. The moves are going to be flying, and Yankees make a big move tonight. Maybe we'll go live tonight and recap it. So we'll see what happens, but just I'm constantly glued to my phone right now. Moves are flying, and we'll see what the Yankees do.
Yeah. So does this mean the Yankees lost the bidding war? I guess.
Yeah, I guess they did lose the bid. The
or
Dodgers
just fake report. Who knows? Yankees didn't want him. I didn't want him.
No, we didn't want that. He had a problem with the Yankees too. He had a 3-homer run game against the Yankees in 2022, and he said, "I'm happy it was against the Yankees."
Yeah, I remember that.
So maybe he just wasn't meant to play for the Yankees, unlike our boy Jazz.
And Yandy. And John.
And Yandy. And Yonder.
And Pete Fairbanks.
And Pete Fairbanks. Oh, dude, I literally just had like 8 hangers. Okay. See you guys. Have a great day.